I was thinking about our last segment on the plight of the Rohingya, and I certainly hope that listeners will follow up on that and do what they can to help out. But understanding the role that bigotry and hate plays, it functions on so many levels. There's the overt hate that we're all trying to fight and resist, the kind of hate being demonstrated in this country by Nazis, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, and so on. So you can kind of almost make a taxonomy of hate, right? You can almost make layers of hate where there's like the overt, we're Nazis, we hate black people and Jews and Muslims and so on. Then there's the next level up, which is, no, I'm really a white nationalist. I just revere Western European civilization and think we need to go back to the ideals of Western civilization because nobody from any other part of the world had a meaningful idea to contribute. And then you have this sort of polite ignorance that just demonstrates a lack of awareness for the struggles of people who do not have your privileged way of life. And sometimes that gets incongruous and even humiliating. Here's a kind of embarrassing and horrible example of it from the Toronto Star, from a freelance wine reviewer who did a piece on different wines that you might use with different films. She was suggesting, for example, I don't know, that you might want a light Chardonnay with a light romantic comedy or whatever. But the reviewer also had a recommendation for a wine that you might want to sip while watching 12 Years a Slave. And she writes as follows: based on a horrific but true story, 12 Years a Slave tells the tale of slavery in the United States in the 1800s, and it earned 3 Academy Awards. Of course, she writes, the cruelty, violence, and accuracy of the events pictured make it a difficult film to watch. I'm sure most of you have seen it and know how difficult it is, but at the same time important. So, offset the searing cinematic discomfort with this smooth, dry, understated rosé. It soothes the senses with sheer flavors that suggest citrus, stone fruit, and gentle strawberry. So, in other words, let me get this right. Slavery was the most horrific act of mass violence and brutality this country has ever enacted, and this film dramatically and graphically portrays in a very personal way that horrific brutality and violence and so on. So to deal with it, we recommend this smooth, dry, understated rosé. See, I'm not suggesting that this reviewer is necessarily racist, but the whole idea that the upper middle class white experience is one where you can anesthetize yourself against the misery of others, as this reviewer has clearly done, suggests that there are genteel ways in which we turn ourselves off to the suffering of others that we ourselves have benefited from, in many ways visible and less visible. We need to be more aware, and I don't think there's a wine for that.